Thanks for joining us for City Council Comments. I'm Steve Erickson along with Councilmember Brad Griskowiak. Today we're talking about the July 16th council meeting. Only had one council meeting in the month of July.
Just one meeting in July, a work session, but with the 4th of July festivities and activities, we just had the one meeting on July 16th.
Yeah, you guys were actually all tied up on that, what would have been the first meeting of the month.
We were.
At the parade.
Yep, the parade that day was great. A lot of participation on that. We had a great time, a lot of kids, and then of course the events for the next couple of days were awesome.
Yeah, of course, busy place down there by the Ice Center for all the 4th of July events. Of course, capped off with the big fireworks show, which was in a little bit of a different location this year.
Yeah, they moved it over closer to the college, but an excellent show, top-rated fireworks show in the whole state, and financed by Community Strength. So a lot of great feedback on the fireworks. Great tradition for our community.
All right.
Bet.
And here we go in the summer, now that that's officially summer's kicked off with after 4th of July here, and the Coon Rapids Farmers Market has started as well at the Ice Center. That just kicked off last week and starts a little slow until some of the crops are more in season, but more and more vendors will be participating in that here in the coming weeks.
You bet they will, you bet.
Yeah, and that's the basically the Wednesday from 3 to 6 p.m. in the parking lot of the Ice Center, if you want to check that out, up until about October 9th, I believe. So.
Right. A little bit more produce comes in a little bit later in the year. That's a great way to go.
But that is underway as well. All right, well, we'll jump right into things here. As we said, there was just the one meeting in July that we have here. First item we want to talk about there was awards of merit that were handed out for an incident that happened in the last couple months.
Right, this happened up actually right near my home in the Oaks of Shenandoah, but the police did award Citizens Award of Merit. Tragically, there was an accident on a property here in Coon Rapids where a piece of equipment malfunctioned and the operator was severely injured, a bad cut to his head, a compound fracture to his leg. Neighbors noticed the accident and rendered first aid, most likely saving this individual's life. Two neighbors rushed to the aid of the neighbor, and also the children in the home, young children, who were trained well enough and kept their wits about them enough to call police and keep things organized and calm. And police arrived, first responders arrived, the gentleman was taken to the hospital and he made a full recovery, or is making a recovery right now. And those neighbors and those children all received Coon Rapids Citizen Awards at our meeting. So.
All right, it's always great to see those presentations and see the folks, like you said, that jumped into action and likely saved this man's life, be honored for that.
Yeah, great example of the community strength that we have here. Just a great community to work and live, and very appreciative of those neighbors, absolutely.
All right, well, following up that presentation, we had another presentation. This was a check presentation, actually, for the fire department's annual Fill the Boot Drive.
Right, this is an annual event that the Coon Rapids Fire Department sponsors. It's the Muscular Dystrophy Association fundraiser. This year, broke a record in donations. Over $35,000 worth of donations were collected, up from $29,000 last year. This is an annual event right across from Menards on Main Street over there. The firefighters are standing and collect donations, everything from coins in an ashtray to $100 bills. Just a great response from our community, very generous community. In fact, the Muscular Dystrophy Association representative mentioned that this is one of the most generous communities for this event in the entire nation. So really proud of that and thankful to all of our residents for stepping up for that great cause.
Yeah, and that's a large amount of money to raise in just a couple days of collecting money from passing vehicles.
It sure is. Our fire department does a great job with that. Very thankful to all those volunteers and Chief Piper for putting that together.
All right. And then to follow that up, we actually had another donation. This one was from the Coon Rapids Lions Club.
Oh, sure. The Coon Rapids Lions, in this case, Lions Association, of course, longtime community support. They are donating a little over $7,000 to bring in some park benches into Lions Park. One of which I guess is going to be themed with the Lions theme, similar to the very popular drinking fountain that we have in Lions Park. So we're thankful to the Coon Rapids Lions for that donation and that addition to our park. Long-time community support.
Yeah, couldn't do it without their support, and right. I know they presented some other money previously, or the organization did as a whole, for the actual redevelopment of Lions Park, which is currently underway this year.
Right, that is correct. The national organization made a larger donation to the park, And the park is currently under renovation. It should be completed fall of this year, but according to our Public Works Director, most likely fully operational spring of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, right there on Hanson Boulevard.
Yeah,
Very popular park.
As you drive by, you can see all the work
Right.
going on and the trucks in there and working on giving it a nice makeover.
That's right.
And this was done as part of the park bond here in the city.
Right. It's actually our last park bond referendum project, and again, that referendum has really benefited our city. A lot of nice work that's been done to our parks. Absolutely.
Yeah. And as we know, they are heavily used along with our trail system, so
They sure are.
got to keep them up. All right, one item under the consent agenda we wanted to talk about was a resolution appointing a new member to the Arts Commission.
Oh, sure. Yeah, from time to time, our commissions will have vacancies. In this case, Anthony Mills was interested in serving on our Parks Commission, so they were interviewed, and at the meeting last Tuesday, we recommended his addition to the Arts Commission. From time to time, there's openings on these commissions, and we really do encourage our community members to look at those. I think there's openings right now on. There might be another opening in arts. There's openings in sustainability, and I believe Board of Adjustment and Appeals. So if you're interested in that, contact City Hall, contact our city clerk, and we'd love to have you join one of those commissions.
Yeah, certainly you couldn't do all the work that you do for the city without all of those volunteer commissions to make recommendations to the council for various actions. So yeah, if you are interested in serving, you can find more information on the city's website, which is coonrapidsmn.gov. I believe there used to be a form you could fill out kind of ranking your interest in what commission you want to be on.
There is.
And they keep them on file, and then when the openings come up, they kind of contact you.
That's correct. Yep.
All right. Moving along, we had a couple actions on the council meeting related to Port Riverwalk. One was awarding a contract for grading of Port Riverwalk.
Right. So this is actually going to be the very beginning of the redevelopment now of Port Riverwalk, a long time on the books here, over a decade, right?
Yes.
But this is actually going to start moving some dirt in that area. We have a purchase agreement pending with Centra Homes. Centra Homes plans to build a number of single-family homes on that lot. And what this allows us to do is to get some of that grading done ahead of the purchase agreement closure. The hope is to have a few of these homes actually built by winter. So this grading is going to tear up some of the existing roads, get the curbs out of there, get all of the initial grading done so that when Centra comes in and when we start to lay our roads and public infrastructure in, we'll be ready to go.
Okay. And then another action we had was approving plans and specifications. This was for Phase 1 streets and utilities for the project.
So that's how close we're getting to this, that we actually are going to go out now for bids for putting in the public infrastructure in here. And the public infrastructure is going to be the road realignment, it's going to be the sewer, it's going to be the water mains, and those types of things. So that work actually won't start until we close the purchase agreement with Centra Homes, but this gets us out over the next 3 or 4 weeks. We're going to be accepting bids for that initial work.
Okay. And do we know yet? I haven't heard. Maybe you've heard as far as like road closures or anything with. I know they're realigning. Avocet was going to be renamed to Zilla Street.
Correct.
With
That's going to be realigned, straightened out a little bit, and renamed. I am not aware of the road closure.
I'm thinking as far as access for. Obviously, there's residents who live behind Port Riverwalk. So.
Right. Obviously, that frontage road is going to be closed during the grading and all the initial work that's going to be done. But that information will be forthcoming. Affected neighbors, of course, will be notified. You'll see things in the mail, possibly door hangers, alerting you to the upcoming construction on those sites.
All right. Well, like you said, a decade, or it feels like 2 decades in the making here. But as we're seeing,
pretty exciting development.
Action to kind
Absolutely.
Moving things forward here. All right. One other item we wanted to talk about was a resolution awarding the sale of about $5.7 million worth of GO bonds, Series 2019A.
Right. So these are general obligation bonds, and what this does, this funds public infrastructure projects. In this case, we're redoing a couple of roads. We're putting in some public sewer, redoing some water mains. So these are the long-term projects, designed to last 20, 30, 50 years. In this case, we awarded the contract the bond issue was to Baird. And what's interesting about this is the city is in such a good financial position that we are actually rated by Moody's credit rating AAA+, which is one notch lower than the absolute highest rating that you can get. There's only a small percentage of communities in the entire United States that have a credit rating that well. That allows us to bond at extremely low rates. In this case, we're bonding this money at a 1.7% interest rate, paid over 10 years to fund these public infrastructure projects. So just a reflection of actually how well our city is managed from a fiscal standpoint. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I know our staff had estimated higher as far as what that interest rate might be, so there will be some savings to the levy, correct? A couple $100,000, I think they said?
Right, actually about a little over $200,000 of savings over what was anticipated. We anticipated the bonding to come in at around 2.4%. Yeah. It actually came in at 1.7%. In addition to that, we had 6 bond companies bidding for this package because our credit rating, our creditworthiness is so high that these are good bonds to be into. The bond company actually offered us a premium in addition to the low bond rate. So just a great outcome. Yeah. Again, great position where our city is in right now.
Yeah, which is great because then those savings are passed along to the residents.
That's correct. Yep, keeping our tax levy in check. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Council considered an easement agreement for a project on Hanson Boulevard. This will be the expansion of Hanson Boulevard, basically between Highway 10 and Main Street.
That's correct. In 2020, Anoka County plans to reconstruct Hanson Boulevard from Highway 10 up to Main Street. And during that reconstruction period, there's going to be a little bit of work that needs to be done along 121st. Essentially, they're going to enhance the right turn lane on westbound 121st to northbound Hanson. So what that entails is we just needed a little bit of property, public property, so there was an easement created, about a 5-foot easement. It's going to allow us to place our sidewalk back a little bit from that turn lane just to create a nice, safe sidewalk environment.
Okay. So that project will be going on next year. I know there was talk originally of it happening this year, but they kind of delayed it with the whole Hanson Railroad overpass project that is still underway.
Right. We figured there'd probably just be one too many projects on Hanson Boulevard with the rail crossing, with Lions Park being reconstructed, and then with this project, it just made sense for Anoka County to push that back 1 year. And actually, I'm pleased they made that decision.
Yeah. And speaking of Hanson, we'll be hopefully getting our bridge done here in the next couple months, and it's supposed to reopen by the end of October, so we're down to about a little over 3 months now.
Yeah, everything seems to be on track with that project. Of course, a big infrastructure project for our city, and a lot of people are inconvenienced for it right now, but once that is opened, it's going to be a nice addition and a nice safety feature at that rail crossing. Absolutely.
Yeah, because certainly I know some of the folks going to the 4th of July celebration, Northdale and Crooked Lake were busy roadways on those evenings because Hanson was closed.
You know, and that's just it. That's the catch-22. We had to make the public infrastructure update because it is so popular. Yeah. So many people were crossing that rail crossing every day. That was certainly a safety issue there. The flip side of that is it inconveniences a lot of people for a short period of time. But long term, this is the right move to make, and it's going to be a great addition, a great upgrade.
Yeah, you won't be sitting for those trains. I was the other day, we were out on a story and sitting at the Crooked Lake Boulevard tracks.
Sure.
For one train, it was like, it was when it was starting and went through and it's like, oh, that was a short train. It's like, why aren't the gates going back up? Oh, well then the second train.
Then the big one came
by right after that. I was like, wow, okay.
So, I don't recall any short trains coming past there.
No, that was the shortest one I had seen, but that'll certainly be nice not to have to wait for those on Hanson Boulevard.
Truly, yes.
All right. Council considered a preliminary and final plat. This is Riverdale 6th Edition, Red Mill Properties at 3200 Main Street. This area we're talking about is basically the Wells Fargo Bank Building.
Correct. The Wells Fargo Bank Building, basically kitty-corner from Menards there on Northdale and Main Street. Similar to what was done over in front of the Home Depot, also in Riverdale over there, where they take a portion of their parking lot, the open land, and in this case, they are proposing a small one-level commercial building kind of up in that corner, kind of up toward that intersection that I just mentioned. And with this project, they are going to move the entrance to the parking lot a little bit farther down Northdale. That's always been a little bit of a congestion spot as you take that left turn and then turn right into Wells Fargo. So they're going to move that down. That should create better traffic flow off of Northdale and through that parking lot. And this project passed through the Planning Commission in June. Really no code variances and everything was met, and the council on Tuesday actually approved that project, and that'll be moving forward.
All right. That is the end of the items from our council meeting that we wanted to talk about. We just wanted to remind folks before we go that there are still 2 more neighborhood meetings coming up here this summer.
Oh, correct. Yep. So our summer in the cities, our summer meetings, there's 2 left. One of them got canceled early in the year, but there's 2 left. July 23rd, that's next Tuesday. That is going to be at Crooked Lake Park, and starting, I believe it's from 6 to 8:30 or so.
6:30 to 8.
6:30 to 8. And a great time to get out and check out that newly renovated park again with the bond referendum money. This is a really nice park. There's that nice sandy beach. There's a new pavilion. There's a brand new playground. The parking lots are redone. So, and Crooked Lake Park, in my opinion, is just a gem in the city that we have that asset. So come on out. You can meet city council members, staff, various departments. Also, the city public works will be out there. They'll have a truck, a fire truck, police department will be out there. Bring your kids out. Oh, one thing that I noticed this time, a little twist on, is we're going to be having a food truck come in. And the food truck is going to be serving snow cones free of charge to the community members. So come on, get your snow cone, and they'll also be having some food if you're interested in purchasing some food. So that should be fun.
Yeah, trying to freshen things up a little and change it a little. We've also, staff, if you've been to previous meetings in previous years, we've kind of all been in one line of tables, but we kind of mix that up at the first meeting and have just different areas for people to mill about and a few more interactive displays for people to take part in.
That's right. The last meeting was at Riverwind Park, where we used the new format. Very well received. A lot of people showed up. Of course, we had beautiful weather, and we were showcasing the new pickleball courts, and there were some demonstrations. So these meetings in the park, I encourage you to come on out. There is going to be the last one that's scheduled will be on July 30th, and that will be at Moore Park. So the one that was canceled early in the year is still a to be determined if it's going to be rescheduled or not. Stay posted on the website for that.
Yeah, we'll update folks if that happens. Of course, the first one was the threat of rain kind of washed that one out. But again, your 2 chances that are on the schedule right now, Tuesday, July 23rd at Crooked Lake Park and Tuesday, July 30th at Moore Park. Both of those get underway at 6:30, run till about 8 o'clock.
That's right.
All right. We also have a big gathering. Folks will be gathered around the city for Night to Unite coming up here on Tuesday, August 6th.
That's right. Night to Unite, formerly known as National Night Out. This is a great community event across the nation, and we try to really encourage our residents to put those neighborhood parties together. You can get help from the police. You can get help from city staff on getting those parties together. Our police chief Wise has a stretch goal of 150 gatherings this year. This is just a great way to meet the neighbors in your area, in your neighborhood. Bring them together. You know, meeting your neighbors, getting to know your neighbors leads to good things down the road. You know, earlier in the meeting, we talked about the Citizens Action Award. You know, those neighbors, they have a personal connection when you meet them. So definitely encourage folks to come out, Night to Unite. You will also get a police department, a police officer will stop by to your meeting. Hopefully a fire truck can get by your meeting. Council members also try to make those meetings that are in their ward. So it's just, again, a great strengthening aspect to our community.
Yeah, and that's why it's important if you are going to organize a party to register with the police department so they know where those visits need to take place. Again, you can find more information on the city's website, coonrapidsmn.gov, under the police department section. I think there's a form and all that you can fill out.
There is. Largely encouraged, absolutely.
Yeah, and like you said, getting to know your neighbors, not a bad thing.
Right.
You also know who belongs in your neighborhood, who doesn't, and keeping a watch out for each other.
That's right.
All right. And due to Night to Unite, we should just mention that our next council meeting will be delayed one day.
That's correct. Due to Night to Unite, August 6th is a Tuesday, so our council meeting will be on August 7th at the regular 7 p.m. time.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. That is all I have. Is there anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I think that's it. Just the one meeting it was a busy month, but just the one meeting. And a couple of other meetings, but.
There'll be more meetings, don't worry. If it's not a meeting, there's usually work sessions, right?
That's right.
They keep you busy. All right, so yeah, we do have our 2 meetings. Our first one will be on Wednesday, August 7th in August, and then the third Tuesday in August as well.
Very good.
All right, I appreciate you being here today and talking to us about our only meeting in July.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Thank you at home for watching, and we'll see you back here after our 2 meetings in August.